Yeah. Okay, well, anything else? Anything else you want to ask me? Anything you want. I will answer anything.
Bring it.
Bring it.
Tell me about your family.
My family. I come from a family of 7 children, 4 sisters, 2 brothers. My parents were in the Air Force. I lived in Germany for 7 years of my life. Moved to the U.S. when I was 7. So actually, German was my first language. And moved everywhere. As soon as my parents were out of the Air Force, they were there. Did I mention that? They were in the Air Force. They were in the Air Force. As soon as they were done, we moved everywhere. And I didn't know it then, but looking back, moving everywhere and just getting like snapshots of, life for 1 or 2 years. I grew up not having best friends. None of my siblings grew up with best friends because there's never any time. You get acquainted with somebody, you start to get good friends with them, you invest in them, and then you move. Like that was a lot of my life. Which is a real bummer. But later on in life, it was a real influence in my songwriting because you get snapshots. Snapshots.
Is that one of the reasons why community is so important to you now?
I think that is definitely why community is very much important to me now because I never had a sense of it, and being younger, going to punk rock shows, that was attracted to me because there was a sense of belonging, in Seattle right now, has anybody been to Seattle in this room? Besides you and you? Go. You should totally go. Because it's different. I will say it's very different from the rest of the United States. Especially right now in Seattle. Our music scene is incredible. We have so many bands I don't know what to do with. I don't know nobody has any idea what to do with them. It's a scene, not even a scene, it's a community. It's a community that is built on love of music, love for each other. We support one another, I had a friend who recently moved from Louisville, Kentucky to Seattle. And all my friends were like, I told all these people about him. And the night he arrives, they have this thing for him, like a welcome party thing, And that was really, and it blew his mind, I recently had a friend who needed a car. So we had 2 cars. They're not fancy cars. I'm not that rich. I gave him one of the cars. That's the kind of music community that we have in Seattle. It's the kind of community that where years ago there were scenes, and scenes are just they're like pieces of the pie. They're so divided. You have a hip hop community, you have the punk community, you have the metal community, the folk singing community, and now it's just all one giant, But it's a beautiful mess. It's a beautiful mess because we all know each other. There are hip hop artists, and you see it if you follow anybody's Twitter that that is involved in that community. You can see it. Like we're talking back and forth. It has nothing to do with what kind of music you play anymore. It has to do with where you come from, and there's a sense of belonging, and everybody is welcome, no matter what kind of genre you play, and no matter what style of clothes you wear, or your economic background, or whatever. You're all. It's nothing like you've ever seen before. Sadly, we have critics, but nobody listens to them. Nobody cares. It's a great thing. Community is very, very important. I would say the best bands in America are the ones that no one's heard yet. They're the bands that are playing for their group of friends in their parents' den or basement or garage. Those are the greatest bands ever. those are the greatest filmmakers ever. Because their audiences are small, and there's still fire. There's still passion, you know? They haven't been stung yet, like I have many times, like many bands have, many movie makers have, or storytellers or writers have, you know? In the beginning is the most beautiful part. And the best bands, the best filmmakers and artists are the ones no one's heard of yet. Because it's an innocence, and then once you move beyond the innocence, you can never go back. And I envy every, that's the other good thing about Seattle. Last point I'll make, because I know we're getting late here. I go out on Sunday nights. Sunday nights there's a thing that we have an open mic forum that we have at this place called Connorburn in Seattle. It's an Irish bar. And every Sunday night you can go see a singer-songwriter, and it doesn't matter how good you are, how good of a songwriter you are. You can play the Beatles, you can play Led Zeppelin, you can play one of your own, it doesn't matter. But to see a person get up on stage who no one knows who they are, and they are playing their song as if you're watching this person perform as if they were performing for the Queen of England or the President of the United States. Like, they have that much gusto. They have that much pride and joy in that moment on stage in a bar, you know, playing a Beatles song or one of their own songs. And I look at that, and I go there every Sunday night when I'm in town. You know, want to know why? Because I remind myself that's exactly where you came from. That is exactly the same fire you once had, and I hope to regain it. I hope I can get it back. You know what I mean? And then you also realize how lucky you are. Because they would give their right arm to go to Sweden. And I don't want to go to Sweden anymore. I'm over it. You know? But you look at them and you're like, I want that. I want that. You know? And so I have a lot of people, friends who are very successful now. And they'll never go back. You can never go back. It's okay to be unheard of. It's okay to, because you never know who you're going to inspire down the road. Because all of you can be inspiring. All of you guys are inspiring to me. That's what's so weird. I came in here to inspire, or to, I guess, shoot the dice, you know, whatever. With you guys, rap a bit, you know. But I came in and I'm getting something back. Because I'm looking at the future, right? I'm looking at the future. You guys are the future of what people will be watching. When I'm old, I'll be watching your movies or reading your scripts, you know. And that's a really beautiful thing. And I could say, oh, I once went to this person's class and sang these really depressing songs. High on cough medicine. You know? So, thanks for having me. Thank you for what you do. And go out there. So go get them.